So I was on Marketplace and I felt like I needed to spend some of my hard earned cash. And so I bought this beauty. Now, this beauty came with the body and the frame. I got it for $6,000 and I bought it up in High Point, North Carolina. Everybody seems to be putting their Factory 5 Cobra builds where, oh my gosh, it's so tough. I have to bolt everything together and it takes forever. Well, that is a kit car. This is not a kit car. This is a body and a frame, and you supply everything else. Now, 80% of everything that I put in this is new. The other 20% is something I robbed from a Mustang GT. So what kind of car is this? Well, I'm not sure. It's the parts that came with it were wrapped in newspaper, and all the newspaper was from 1998. So I guess it's a 1998 body. It was never built. It was sitting in somebody's garage. Well, actually, it was sitting in their. They have a fiberglass shop where they repair yachts, and this was tucked in the corner. And I think it changed hands a few times. Eventually, ended up with this guy. So I bought it back in, I think, October. It's currently May 1st, and after watching several videos on how to do things and what other people have done, I decided that I cannot find a single Cobra that is exactly like mine that somebody's built. In fact, I could only find one that is even similar, and that is, I think, is a Street Beast is what he bought, and he's doing a phenomenal job. But a lot of the stuff that he had matches exactly what I have. Now, I know that sounds weird because they all look alike, right? Well, all these Cobras are completely different. However, things like this hinge, Dave's Garage, in case you're curious, if you're building a Cobra, and when I say building, I'm not talking about a kit car, I'm talking about building from scratch, and all you have is a body, a frame, and some of the hardware. Well, this is the hardware that basically I got. Here's the door hinges, and these are exactly like his, I believe is a Street Beast. But mine came with a link to a, these are the trunk hinges. No, I have not installed them yet. These are the door hinges. There's two of them. I have not installed that yet. My trunk is held on with Gorilla tape. Makes a great hinge. But so far, all I've really done is put together what's already here. Yep, I'm the first guy in America to duct tape his Cobra together. Anyway, so this is the link and the paperwork that came with the car. So my best guesstimation is, and if somebody else knows something, of course, get a hold of me, was a Fiber Fab Cobra Owner's Manual. Assembly and parts reference. Now, everything in here basically says you're supposed to steal the parts from late 70s, a late 70s model of Mustang. Everything from the foot box and all that. Well, I stepped it up a notch. I wanted tilt wheel, so guess what? I bought a tilt wheel. I wanted a horn. I wanted turn signals. I wanted, the turn signal stock is not here right now. They're dainty, so I didn't want to break it. This is tilt wheel, turn signals. I also have a hazard switch. That was the great big hole that was already cut out of the center when I bought the car. These, yes, of course, I'm going to fiberglass, after I do the dashboard, I'm going to fiberglass in cup holders because my wife likes to drink a Monster while we cruise around. And yes, my wife can drive a stick. So as you see, I've already stuck in the engine, the transmission, and the posi rear end out of the 1998 Mustang GT, which I paid $6,000 for the body and the frame, and I paid $3,000 for the Mustang. Mustang was low miles, but very good. Everything that you do to this car is something you have to fabricate. It's not a bolt-in kit. You see a quick nasty weld down there, a quick nasty weld. That's a hoop that goes up, over, and down. My car did not have that, but I had to add it in, so I had to fabricate that. That's for mounting the hood hinges, which, by the way, I just got done doing. So that's new. The engine, of course, has to be gone through, but that's new. All the suspension I've purchased brand new. Tube suspension because, well, why wouldn't you? The rough cuts are done. The rough cut on the hood scoop, rough cut on the headlights, which I've already pre-fitted the buckets. I do have the buckets. I'm not doing bumpers. Those holes are for vent for your brakes. Through the snorkel, I will be doing the oil cooler. In fact, I've already taken, if you look over the side of the motor over there, I've already taken the oil system off. I already have an adapter and all that. I've put in a no power steering because I'm 51 years old. Power steering is something I'm used to not having in all the cars that I've built. Yeah, I built 36 cars in the past, but they were American muscle type cars. So I got the used motor, which by the way runs perfectly. I've got a 5-speed transmission. I've got the steering, which this is a roller. I've already put the I've already bought all the suspension. I mean, power steering is what, 150 bucks for a manual steering. Coilovers, brakes, all the other bits. Just starting to fit the inner fender wells. I have to fiberglass all that in, but of course everything's clamped or duct taped or something in place. The car did come with a set of side pipes. It does come with the aluminum vents. It does come with the windshield, which the windshield is up there in that styrofoam box. So, yeah, that'll go in some point. The car also came in with a hoop, which the hoop I've already fitted. I've welded that bracket to the frame. This part's done. I've got to do the third leg. It's right there. That bolts here, and that of course will bolt to the frame down underneath in there. The wheels are tires and rims that were off the Mustang. I'll be doing Hildebrands. Steering wheel, of course, that's just beautiful. Wood, rivets. Yeah, I think it's a very classic look. 5-speed, of course, I'll be switching out the actual shifter, but for right now it works pretty good. I'll refiberglass all that. I did buy seats, and I'm sure I'm going to hear a lot of crap for this, but I bought gray seats. Why? Well, I'm going to paint this car a charcoal gray, and the interior is going to be a light gray. I am in North Carolina. I am in Kannapolis, North Carolina, which is NASCAR Central. So I know many people in the NASCAR world. A lot of them are my neighbors, and so it's hot. It's damn hot. So black seats are no bueno. So I have gray seats, and these don't really get a whole lot of interior. It's going to have black carpet in it, and I might put a elbow pad. You know, like the C3 Corvettes had that beautiful elbow pad. It was about that thick, and it was totally worth having. So I'll probably put an elbow pad in the center that you pull out. And I did buy, when I bought the seats from Stryker, by the way, very good company, I also bought a roll up there of 2 yards of extra material so that I could have an upholsterer make that elbow pad. And these don't get much. The fiberglass still isn't cut out for that door, but you can see the door goes from there to there. Yeah. I'll be fixing that. Don't worry about that. It'll be fine. But this part still gets cut out, and then inside here is the actual door. But this holds the body together so we don't snap in the middle until I get it all fiberglass together. The tub is fiberglass. The back tub, which is the trunk and all, that's already fiberglass to the body. I still have to fiberglass in the centerpiece. I gotta repair all this so it's only just a little hole enough for the shifter. But I'm also going to make a console that goes in the center. It's going to be a fiberglass build in here, and that's going to be nice because that'll have the 2 cup holders, and there's going to be a round marine stereo. Why a stereo? Because my wife said she wants to be able to Bluetooth herself when she drives the car and listen to the stereo. So it's going to have a stereo. It'll have all the stock standard gauges. There will not be a key. I will have it'll be a push button start with a fob. They have to rub over a secret spot to actually start the key, or start the car with no keys. So there won't be keys jingling. There's no keyhole in the steering column or anything like that. So it will just be open door, sit, wave the magic wand, and then push button start for the car. And it will be as quick as it needs to be. I mean, I didn't go big block. I didn't go 427 side oiler standard blah blah blah. Everybody does. I wanted this to be able to drive it. It takes me about 25 minutes to get to work every day. I have to run down 85 into Charlotte. And the one thing I don't want to do is I don't want 4 miles a gallon. I don't want a lot of things. I want to be able to turn a corner and not have the front end not very heavy. I have the motor set back real far in this. It's a lightweight motor. It's a 4.6 liter. It's a Mustang engine. So figure if you had a 1998 Mustang GT with the 4.6, the 5-speed in the rear end, then take about half the weight away. So will it be fast? Yes, it'll be very fast. Is it quick enough? Yes. I'll also be able to actually turn a corner and not smoke my tires every single time you take a corner or everything like that, because my wife is also going to be driving this. Why? Because my wife is hot. My wife is very hot, and cute women get what they want. So her and I actually talked about maybe after this is done that we might buy one of those Daytonas and build a Daytona. Who knows? You never know. But yeah, that's where I am so far. So I don't do all that crap, like, share, subscribe, and all that, because I'm not among you. You know, I don't need the money. I don't need the subscribers. I don't need anything. I just thought that as I build this thing, I may need some help in fiberglassing or in tuning, because I've got the standalone wiring harness for that motor sitting right there with the CPU. But I also have a Speedway wiring harness, and that'll be all the chassis wiring. So all the gauges, headlights, tail lights, anything electrical that runs off the body of the chassis is going to come off of that wiring harness. And it's a nice harness. I really recommend these. I've used them before. This harness is pretty great. This I bought through Speedway. Let's see. I'm not a YouTuber, so I don't film like other people. It takes me 2 hands to do stuff. So there's the wiring harness. It comes with everything, but it's got a really, really nice. It's already got the relays built in for the turn signals. It's got the relay. Got the relay built in for the horn. The car actually came with a wiring harness. It's right here. But like I said, it's 20-year-old harness, at least 20 years old, 20-some years old. And nothing's labeled, nothing's marked. It's not that I can't figure it out. I just didn't want to. So if I don't want to do it, I don't have to. I am doing this on a budget because I'm married with children. I'm old enough that I've worked hard enough to get the car, but I'm young enough to where I still have to pay for college and kids and stuff like that. But I have a fan relay, horn relay, wipers, gauges, coil, which this car doesn't have a coil, but because this, like I said, with electronic fuel injection and all that, it'll be 80 or 98. Air conditioning, yes. Heat, yes. I will be adding air conditioning and I will be adding heat. I don't know how yet. I've never done the air conditioning part of a build, so that'll be interesting. And there's more duct tape. Like I said, I don't have the hinges on the doors. The only reason those doors are duct taped there is because, as you can see, this is a one-car garage. Actually, this is a utility garage. It's not even a one-car garage. There's the two-car garage, but this is just like an extra little add-on on the house. My third-car garage. Here, see? So it's just a little extra. Yes, I like my mountain bike. Don't make fun. And the other Mustang rims, which is literally not even a scratch in these things. But I don't know, sell them down the road. I got 427 header pipes that I got off of a friend or a guy, but I won't be using them. It's just I couldn't see him. He said he's going to throw them away, so I picked them up. So if anybody needs a 427 headers for a Cobra, let me know. There's a power and booster for the brakes. That was a late 60s bolt up Mustang right there. I chose not to use that. I decided I didn't want that. What I ended up buying instead was, oh, let's see. Oh, there you go. That's what we know and love. Willwood. So what do I got in Willwood? Well, I'm changing this over to a hydraulic clutch. So I have a hydraulic pedal for the clutch. I got two masters for the front and rear brakes. I have a proportioning valve. Even though I know you can bolt it differently, it is so nice to actually just use these. Willwood's got a great setup here. Also, the nice thing about this Willwood proportioning valve is it's got a pressure sensor in here for your brakes. So my brake lights will kick on and off with this pressure sensor. And then here, everybody's got to have, if you grew up in my world, if you were driving a Nova in the 80s, then you know what this is. This is a front wheel lockout. So I won't use that button, that's too cheap. But this is actually a pretty decent unit. What this does is if you press hard on your brakes, you press the button or flip a switch is what I'll do, and your front brakes will lock, and then you let off the pedal. That way your back wheels are free to warm up. Your front wheels aren't. So if you've never added one of those into a vehicle, add it. It's worth it. As long as you don't have, analog braking systems, stuff like that. But for this, it'll be perfect. And yeah, I know what you're going to say. Wow, those are small brakes. Don't worry. They're going to get a lot bigger. Like I said, a budget. Build car today, upgrade later. Because I can't afford $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 to go buy one. It just is what it is. So, this is what we're stuck with. By stuck, I mean total awesomeness. So, I had bought and swapped and flipped a bunch of cars. Just a lot of European things. 86 Alfa Romeo, 77 Fiat Spider, 70 Opel GT. I love those little two-seaters. And they're great cars. Triumph TR6. A bunch of great cars that I've bought, flipped in this little tiny garage in the last few years. And the profit I made off of that, I bought this. So really, I don't have any money into the car yet. I know I got $6,000 into the car, and I got $3,000. That's what, $9,000. I got about $2,000 in parts in between the Willwood and the seats. I haven't even bought the gauges yet. That's another $700. But once I get everything compiled, put together, it'll be good. So I got maybe 10 grand into it now, maybe $11,000. So when you say you can't do it on a budget, that's a cop-out. I mean, what's it going to be worth when I'm done? Don't know, don't care. But the car came with a lot of good stuff. I mean, between what I bought, the car, the body, and the frame, which came with the windshield, the side pipes I may or may not use, and the hoop comes with this car, and of course a computer link to this, which I still don't know if this is a fiber fab or not. The big difference is if you look at Dave's garage, his car he's building, when you lift up this center post mount, here's a connector between this part of the body and that part of the body is this. And if you look at mine underneath is steel. It's solid steel. It's a 1/4 inch plate. It is a very solid center section. So, and it's covered with that fiberglass. Now on Dave's garage, everything just seems exactly like mine. Everything just seems to be exactly like mine, except for that. His is open. Now, I don't know if it's a different model. So maybe this is a Street Beast. Maybe Fiber Fab sold their stuff to Street Beast. Maybe this is pre. Maybe Fiber Fab was after Street Beast. I have no idea. For all I know, Street Beast still exists. I don't know. I didn't look it up. So anyway, I'm going to build it. I'm probably going to take another 3 or 4 months to get it done. So if you want to follow along, you can. If you don't, maybe I bored you with this video already. If you don't want to follow along, don't. But if you have questions, I'll answer them. If I have questions, maybe some of you guys will answer them. My videos, this one's probably 22 minutes long or 25 minutes long or something. This will probably be my longest video, just for a simple fact that, you know, I'm not a content kind of guy. I watch other people's videos. I generally don't make my own. But yeah, there's some headers I bought that probably won't work. And another header probably won't work. A lot of work went into fabricating our own. Yeah, I know, I gotta grind them, clean them up. Those are all initial welds right there. No, it's not gonna fall apart. I don't want to hear you whining. I'm not gonna read what you had to say and go, oh my God, I need to change my life and do something different. No, because I don't really care. I only care that this thing is very solid, gets put together. Like I said, I've built several cars in the past. So, a couple of my favorites. That was my 68 Firebird 400. That was a lot of fun. And when I painted it, I painted the bumper to match the paint so there's no chrome. It's very sinister. And then that was my 81 Corvette, 600 horsepower. And all this is for my son Connor. Say hi, Connor.
Hi. Hi, Daddy.
Yes, sir.
Can you spell Scrooge McDuck?
Scrooge McDuck?
I mean DuckTales.
Oh, DuckTales. All right. Well, say everybody in YouTube land goodbye.
Everyone in YouTube land, goodbye. Adios.
Adios. All right, people. Follow along.